But Calvinism does teach that sinners are unable to turn to God, and that some sinners are effectually motivated and determined to come to Him, and are conformed and predestinated, and according to His will. The elect, since they are foreknown since the foundation of the world, they are made and created in Him, a new creature, not where their former nature, that's being children of wrath, that's put away, but they are made a new creature, obedient unto righteousness. But since God does not let disobedience and apostasy go unpunished, no one may lay any charge against His perfect justice or His mercy. The expiation of His elect still had a satisfaction in the punishment required by God's justice in the crucifixion and passion of His Son, and all for His glorification. So how does God use evil to accomplish His eternal purpose? In Acts chapter 4, verse 27-28, we see an example of a truth against this holy child Jesus, whom thou hast anointed, both Herod and Pontius Pilate, with the Gentiles and with the people of Israel. We were gathered together to do whatsoever thy hand and thy counsel determined before to be done. Does God delegate power? Does He cause evil this way? Well, we know that God ordained evil as such as He ordains everything from some of the scriptures that we read. But we also know that the Lord brings evil to pass in such a way that He's not culpable, and He righteously avenges His justice retributively. It's a sort of secondary cause that He uses to accomplish His means. And God has chosen to bring about evil in order that He may be glorified and that we may be blessed. In Isaiah chapter 53, verses 9-11, we hear this on the Passion of Christ. And He hath made His grave with the wicked, and with the rich His death, because He hath done no violence, neither was any deceit in His mouth. Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise Him, and He hath put Him to grief. When thou shalt make His soul an offering for sin, He shall see His seed, and He shall prolong His days. And the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in His hand. He shall see of the travail of His soul, and shall be satisfied. By His knowledge shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities. In John chapter 19, verse 11, Jesus answered to them and says, Thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. Therefore he that delivereth me unto thee hath the greater sin. So even here, he that delivered him is still culpable for their sins, but no power could be given against him unless it was given from God above. And Joseph being sold into slavery by his brothers, it's another example. Genesis chapter 45 verse 7 says, And God sent me before you to preserve you a prosperity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. All this according to the counsel of God's will, which He had already ordained. It wasn't that the evil that Joseph being sold into slavery was never against the purpose of God. Daniel chapter 4 verse 35, And all the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing, and He doeth according to His will in the army of heaven, and among the inhabitants of the earth, and none can stay His hand, or say unto Him, What doest thou? He's referring to the Lord God. No one can stop what He does. In Romans chapter 13 verse 1, it says, Let every soul be subject unto higher powers, for there is no power but of God, the powers that are ordained of God. So even governors and magistrates and dominions of the earth, that even if they carry out evil deeds or they persecute Israel or any of those things, all those things are ordained of God according to His purpose. And Acts chapter 2 verse 23, Him being delivered by the determinate counsel and foreknowledge of God ye have taken, and by wicked hands have crucified and slain. For to do whatsoever thy hand and thy counsel determined before to be done. So even though everything that the hand does is counseled or determined to be accomplished, God still calls their hands wicked and deserving of punishment. As always, grace be to you.